Well, greetings all. Gotta take a early morning ride out to Tanjei, trying to get some netting to put around the fence to keep the goats from eating all of our new fruit trees. Last year they killed maybe 3/4 of the newly planted trees. There are laws in the Gambia that people are supposed to keep these goats out of people's gardens and all that, but there's no such thing as regard for your neighbor. Talk about people cutting down the bush around their houses, the same bush that the cows that they own and the goats they own can eat. They cut it down and burn it, but they turn loose the goats and the cows to go to somebody else's garden that they planted, try to grow something on, and they destroy the other people's property. Good morning, how are you?
Yes, sir, how is it?
Pretty good.
Very good.
Yes. Alright. This is something that needs to be changed, but will be very difficult to change because it has become a part of the culture. And I can tell you, there's virtual war in the northern areas of Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Togo, all across Africa really, between the Fuller who drive cows across the whole area, and these cows destroy what people plant, their gardens. And the Fuller come with guns to shoot the people when people complain. So it's a cultural thing all across Africa about this foolishness. Here in Gambia, people put up big walls. You know, I don't know if many of you guys watch Bag's Family, but they're building 4 or 5 miles of wall to keep the cows out. And that's expensive. What in the world is the problem with this guy? Anyway. I'm going to try to put up the netting because I don't want to do harm to the animals. Good morning.
Morning, I'm good.
How are you?
You good?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. But anyway, try to fix these little issues and go on. Deal with life, deal with life, deal with life. I don't know if any of you have been observing the events of the economic summit. They make it a China versus the US issue bordering on war, but it is actually war already. And this kind of war is more devastating to the poor than the hot war. When I say devastating to the poor, most of the world imports what it needs, including Africa. Africa has got so much land, everybody knows about that already. It can't grow the food that supports its people. Imagine when the war in Ukraine broke out, African leaders begging for wheat to make bread, because if you live in Africa, you know bread in Africa is, oh man, it's like a mainstay. Every morning I watch hundreds of people go out to get bread. Yeah, this is the kind of netting that I'm buying for the fence. Put around the fence, keep the goats out. Hopefully strong enough to keep the goats out and let my trees grow. Otherwise, I don't really want to put up a wall fence. Spending to me, a wall fence is like imprisoning myself. So maybe I'll be doing the wrong thing, but hopefully it's the right thing. Alright, don't know, this is the price he told me though, 400 but the size is like what, about 50 meters for $400. So I spent about $2,000 today. I already bought another set previously, about 3 days ago. So hopefully you can enclose the whole area where we had the trees planted. Anyway, this discussion about the meeting between Mr. Xi and Mr. Biden, and this year they're creating animosity really, because part of this thing has to do with what they call the defense industry, and that is, after food, one of the biggest, how do I call it now, spending. You can imagine the drones that the US use. One of those things, the price of one of those things can feed the state of Mississippi, all the poor people in the state of Mississippi for a year. So the people who make those are the people who own the congressmen, you know? So they have to get their share of the money. Anyway, the problem is African leaders and their lack of will, and in many cases lack of knowledge of what to do and how to do it. That's putting Africa, and indeed a lot of the world, in jeopardy. Because if Africa had a say in what was going on, imagine the Africans in America now, how much of a say they would have in things. Africans in the Caribbean, Africans in Asia, Africans in South America. When you talk about Africa, most people talk about Africa in isolating the 50 states on the continent. But there are almost 3/4 billion other Africans out across the world. There are more Africans on the planet than the rest of the people on the world. They will tell you Africa only got 1.25. No, they have never counted how many people are actually on the continent in Africa. Never. They just guesstimate. And they always lower the number to make you feel like you're insignificant. Why am I talking about this thing today? Because in the coming year, maybe 2, you think things are bad. It's like watching one hurricane come across the Atlantic and one sinking right over the country where you live. And you're expecting the one to move offshore, but it's not moving. And the other one that is offshore is still coming towards you. That's the situation you're in right now. And the poor people, when I say poor, some people might be making 100,000 and think, yeah, I'm middle class. No, you are among those. As a matter of fact, you're even worse off because you're accustomed to the good life. A car, a house, being able to pay your bills. When you can't, it is hell for you. Then you understand where hell is. Not that fictitious place that your lying preacher tells you about. Anyway, I hope you guys start buying books and start studying these things. Start watching the world as it is. Seeing what's going to come, what's approaching, and preparing. You can't totally prepare, but family is going to need more now than it ever has. And you can already see the wars breaking out in Africa. They don't talk about those because those wars don't matter to them. It's just a matter of keeping Africans fighting each other so that they can't get together. And that's easy to do. Very, very easy. Anyway, hope you guys are listening to what's going on around you, watching what's going on around you. And trying your best. To keep to separate actually the facts from the fiction. Because they tell you, as long as you got a job, all is well. No, it's not. All right. Peace. Have a great day wherever you are. Stay safe. Well, come on now. Let's go up here and turn around instead of trying to turn around here. Whew. Gilly's trying to park and pick up people. And she is trying to encourage him to go. She's trying to encourage him to go. When you've lost the respect of the people who you supposed to guide, it is bad. Yep, when you lost the respect of the people, bad. This is the market area. It goes further down anyway. I just turned around about halfway. This is the road that runs between the market and Tanjei. Look at that. He's arguing with her. And she's trying to tell him to move. And he's just... As I was saying, when you lose the respect of the people, and you lost that respect. Some things that you can't learn about Africa unless you're here. I hear people all the time talking about things that they don't know about, and I can't really respond to them. In their minds, Africa is a paradise, and they have that in their mind and refuse to accept anything else. Only when they arrive and things start happening that they say, man, it's bad here, I have to leave. People have been telling you that for a long time. You can't make the adjustment. And they say, well, it's bad everywhere. Yeah, it's bad everywhere. But, see, like, your forefathers are our forefathers. Put on boats to go and build England, France, Germany, Spain, Portugal. The funny thing is that African governments don't want to bring us back to build Africa. No matter how many loans they've taken, some places can't even pay the loans they have to, like Kenya right now, Ghana, Nigeria, they're taking out loans to pay the loans that they took out before because they can't keep the money from being stolen. Nigeria makes more money every year. Alright. Nigeria makes more money every year than the state of Great Britain. But still have to borrow money. Why? Kenya, Tanzania, you know, it's just nobody is building. You have to build something and build products that you need and other people need, so that you don't be borrowing money to feed your people. That's the way it is. You look at what's going on in Germany now. Germany has borrowed so much money. Germany used to make money hand over fist. They didn't know what to do with the money. Now they're borrowing money. You know why? They started a war. And they had to buy weapons to fight that war. And when you fight in a war, your money evaporates quickly. Because you're manufacturing something, it's like you have a tree in the yard that produces fruit, and you burn that tree. Now you don't have anything to sell, so you're going hungry. But Africa want to follow that path. And then they talk about development. They call that development. Africa wants to follow. Every African president talks about development. Don't understand what it is. Oh.
That's my uncle.
How are you?
Uncle fine, sir.
All right.
How's your day?
Pretty good.
What about the weekend?
Well, I got work to do when I get home.
Oh, okay. Take care.
All right. Thank you. Don't comprehend what development is. You develop, you're able to take care of your own. That's what it's supposed to mean. Your people are fed, clothed, sheltered, educated, and their health is taken care of. But they listen to what you tell them development is. borrow some money. You build the electrical plant, and then you sell it to the Europeans who come in and make all the money off of it. Because you borrow money from the IMF, you have to sell your industry. You have to sell your electrical power plant, your water producing plant, everything that is necessary for your people. You have to sell it to a foreign entity in order to borrow money. And you call that development. Well, you are looking at slavery, and that countdown to that day has been going for the last year and a half. This is how your trash get picked up. During the week, maybe the parents are doing this, the father, elder brother or something. But the weekend, the younger. See here where they're cutting all the grass, cutting all the plants down, getting ready to burn it. This is where diasporans come into play, putting in place systems that work. But then governments have to, you know, they make it easy for us, for the British to come in and put us on our forefathers on the boat, but difficult to bring us back. Anyway, it's going to happen. We missed this one opportunity. It's going to be 100 years before it happens again. All right, peace.